Okay, good evening, everybody. Let's go ahead and get started. Let me know if you guys can hear my audio and see my screen in the chat box. Just give me a little Y or a yes there, just to let me know that it is indeed working. Hope everybody's having a fantastic evening so far. Hopefully your Wednesday's been pretty good. Looks like we're up and running. Awesome. Also want to give a shout out to those of you new to the program or those of you watching this in the recording. I want to say hello to you guys. And as always, just want to welcome everybody here. Okay, awesome. Well, let's go ahead and get started. So this webinar today, this can be on EAs and copy traders. This is our first EAs and copy trader webinar of the year. This is a new class, so I'm really excited to kind of go over this. For those that don't know what this is, let me just introduce it real quick. So basically, what we, and this class could change over time, but currently the way I view this class and expect it to go is once a month, maybe twice a month, we'll go over on a Wednesday night and review and simulate different algorithms, trading algorithms that other people use. These aren't necessarily our trading algorithms. And this is also including things like copy traders as well. These are things that copy traders are systems where if you take a trade, it then transmits to another account, which is pretty cool. That way you don't have to take multiple trades. It can just be taken in one account and then transmit to all the other accounts you have. Um, you can also copy from other people's copy traders, which is also pretty cool. And so that's kind of what I'd like to do in this class is simulate all the different copy traders and EAs that we want to look at. Throughout the month, I'll take suggestions. So if you guys have EAs and or copy traders that you want me to look at and review, we'll review those EAs and copy traders, which will be super awesome. And I'll teach you guys how to use them and how to set them up. I'll show you the ones that I've used and my experiences with them, which I think will be really awesome. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. As always, I need to remind you guys about the risks involved in this market. You can lose all or more than your initial investment if you're not careful. So please be aware of how many pips you're risking on each trade, in addition to how big your lot size is, and ultimately how that would affect your account if you were to lose money. So make sure that you're going through that process each and every time that you take a trade. All right, guys. So first of all, let's kind of I wanted to start. I know we'll talk about EAs, but I wanted to start with copy traders because this is, I feel like, more relevant to what we're doing. So one of the things that you guys will need to do when you start to get more prop firm accounts or as you start to manage more money when you trade is you're going to need probably want to use a copy trader. So historically, what I've done before copy traders is I would just go out and like let's say I have an MT4 account. I've got here, I'll show you this account. Like this is one of my prop firm challenges right here. This is an MT4. And I took all these trades this week. This is a lot of trades to take. This is um, just scanner signals. Some of these are pretty small trades, but these are trades that I've taken and I've got some buy stops down here and some sell stops as well. Um, and it's a lot of orders to manage, right? And so if I had to take all these trades in multiple accounts, that would take a long time because if you have one prop firm challenge with FTMO, a prop firm challenge with Funded Trading Plus, or one with Funded Next, and you have, maybe a personal account as well, and you want to take all these trades in all your accounts, that's a lot of work to just copy trade or just to take them all in different accounts at different times. So that's what's so nice about a copy trader is when I take trades in this account or in the account that's the master account, it will then transmit those trades into all the other accounts that I have trades open, which is super awesome. It also accounts for risk management and other things like that too, which is super cool. I wanted to show you. I actually have I have a couple of copy traders with social trading tools. This is Social Trader Tools. That's their name. And this is actually what a trade copier looks like. This is one of mine. Um, Let me actually go. Yeah, perfect. I just wanted to go here. Okay, so on this general page, this shows you what we're doing. So basically, when I'm setting up a trade copier, um, actually, I need to back up a little bit. Social Trader Tools. Let me actually just go to their website. Let's just pull up Social Trader Tools. Um, this is their website. This is their homepage, and it is just as simple as it is. Basically, the only service that I believe they offer is just the connection to copy trades. So this is best used for somebody who, just a trader who has multiple prop firm accounts and maybe a personal account or two, and they'd like to take all their trades from one place. That's what these guys are for, which is really, really cool. And this is probably the standard. There's a lot of other copy traders out there, but I think these guys kind of they're like I don't know, the bread and butter of copy trading. And it's actually super easy to use. Like I've set this up. It was kind of intimidating at first, but it's actually not that hard. Um, and so basically, if you go to their pricing page, this is kind of what a copy trader costs, right? So if you just want to copy trade from one account to another account, you're just managing two accounts, that's it. These guys charge $20 a month to copy trade from one to another. Um, this is the more popular one for people who have up to five accounts. So if you have, 3 to 5 accounts, this is probably the one you want to use. And you can connect, like I said, 5 accounts, which is super cool. And um, yeah, they're just paying for connections here, right? And then you've got, if you have 10 accounts, you pay $120 a month. If you have 20 accounts, that's a lot of accounts. But if you did, then you'd pay $220 a month for that. And then you've got um, up to 100 accounts, and that's $1,000 a month. Which is crazy, but 100 accounts, that's a lot of accounts to manage. But anyway, so like I said, that's all. It's pretty straightforward. That's what it does. So let me show you how I set this up. So when you're in here, this is kind of cool. I just want to show you what it looks like. If you ever decide to set up your own copy trader someday, this is an example of one that I have going on right now. And you can have multiple copy traders under the same subscription with these guys. You can just have up to 5 connected accounts if you're on that, the popular one, or if you pay for the 120 a month, you can have up to 10 accounts, I think it was, right? And then you can have technically an infinite amount of copy traders. You just only, do one, you can only just have 10 accounts or whatever that is. And you could upgrade. So as time goes on, if you happen to get more accounts that you want to manage, then you can just add those accounts. But this is kind of what it looks like. So they have this dashboard over here where you can kind of access everything. When you get started, there's this configurator. You have to add your accounts right here. And then you have Trade Copier, and that's where we're at right now. So in this general area is what we're looking at. So when you're creating the copier, it'll say, which account do you want to copy from? And then what do you want it to send to? So the copy from account is known as the master account. I usually label them as master. This one I did not. And the slave account is what we call the send to account. Well, the send to account is the slave account. So the master is, the account that you plan to trade exclusively, right? And then it's the account that you plan to trade. And then the slave account is the account that you plan to have follow the actual copy trader. Okay. Um, and then so this is, and you can actually set up multiple accounts in here, but right now I just have it set up to one. Then you move on to the risk settings, which is right here. And this is kind of cool. So this is probably the most important part. of setting up a copy trader for yourself is this page. And I've seen a lot of different other places that have copy traders, and they have pages that are very similar. Most of them have what's called a multiplier, which probably the most important um, field to fill out. So I'll show you how you fill that out when you're setting up a copy trader. There's this option with social trader tools. It's called reverse trade. So reverse trade is basically you can actually copy somebody else's account, but it can literally just take the opposite trade of what that person is doing. So um, you could actually you could go online, find somebody's account, and if you could connect it, or if you um, I mean, you could even, I mean, this is kind of crazy. I don't think you'd want to do this. You don't want to bet against yourself. I don't like that. But if you knew you were not trading very well, you could actually set up a copy trader to trade the opposite of you. Now, I wouldn't do that. I think that's kind of dumb. I think you're better off, learning how to trade well on your own and then just kind of going off of that. I think that's the way to go. Um, okay. Let's see, what else do I want to explain? So reverse trades just literally does the opposite of what, if you take a buy on the master account, it then takes a sell on the slave account. That's what reverse trades is. Then you have risk type. Currently have this risk multiplier set by balance. So what this does is it says, okay, based off of the balance of the accounts, both the master account and the slave account, how do we want the risk multiply, or how do we want to manage risk? And I've set this up to do it by um, balance. Now, why do I do it by balance? Well, I do it by balance because if somebody has like if my master account has more money in it, then um, I want, the other account, the slave account, if it has less money, I still want it to transmit the risk equally. And so it calculates by the proportional balance. So if I have $100,000 in one account and 50,000 in the slave account, I would want to make sure that the slave account takes the trades at half the size because I don't want to double up my risk. Um, so if you risk by balance, then that's a way to do it. Another one is to risk by equity, which is very similar. You can also do by fixed lot or multiplier. Okay, now these you can really mess those two up. If you risk by lot multiplier, then whatever lot size is taken in the account, um, in the master account, then it will multiply by whatever multiplier you select on the next field. So if I said multiply the lot by 10 times, like if I put the multiplier at 10, then if I took a one contract on the master account, it would then take 10 contracts on the slave account, which might be too much money, right? So I usually do this by balance or equity. I've currently just done it by balance, and that's worked out really well for me. Then you have the multiplier. And again, this is the most important field on a copy trader because um, this multiplier um, is what basically decides how much risk you're taking. I mean, there's a few other variables, but I feel like this is the biggest one. If you put this to just 1.0, that means when I risk 1% of risk on the master account, it then takes 1% of risk on the slave account. So it's 1 for 1. It's the exact same. It doesn't mean it's multiplying like, if you have $100,000 account in one and then the next account's 50,000, that means it's the same lot size. That's not what that means. What it means is just whatever risk so long as it's by balance or equity, whatever risk you take in the master account, that's the same percentage risk that will be taken in the slave account. That's what that means at 1.0. So if I change this to 2.0, if I make my multiplier 2.0, what that means is whenever I risk 1% in the master account, I'm now risking 2%. If I risk 2% on the master account, I'm now risking 4% on the slave account, right? So it's a little bit more. That's what you're saying if you do that. Now, you might have noticed I had this set to 0.5. What is 0.5? 0.5 is just a half. So I've lowered the risk on the slave account a little bit. So when I risk 1% on the master account, what that's saying is risk half of that percent. So I'm risking a half of a percent now at 0.5. That's what the multiplier does. I have a copy trader or a couple of copy traders on a few different places I subscribe to where I've set the multiplier to 2 or 3. And the reason why I've done that is because I've analyzed their statistics and I've done my own analysis. And based off of my findings, they don't take a lot of risk. And I'd like to take a little bit more risk because I'd like the money to grow a little bit faster. Okay. But it comes at the cost of taking on a little bit more risk. So when they have a losing period, I lose a little bit more. But when they have a winning period, I tend to win more, right? And so I've gone to 2.0. I actually have a multiplier on another copy trader that's at 3.0 right now. So I'm risking 3 times what they risk. If they risk 1%, then I'm risking 3. Um, that's it. And again, it just depends on who you're copying, right? Okay, now I'm going to put that back to 0.5. Slippage, I think this is what this is saying is if there's ever slippage over 100 pips, it basically doesn't take the trade. Now, the thing is, I think that's what that's. I could be wrong. Maybe somebody correct me in the chat box if I'm wrong about that. But it just defaulted to 100, so I left it there. I didn't think it mattered a ton, but I just left it at the default at 100. I think it's just basically saying if slippage during a news event or something like that causes the trade that you're about to execute to enter, maybe don't enter if the slippage is that high. I think that's what that's saying. I could be wrong though. Max lot, this one is pretty self-explanatory. This one's just saying if don't ever trade more than 50 contracts at one time. Honestly, I could probably bring that in quite a bit, but since I'm managing my own account and I'm not too worried about that, I'm good. So 50 max lot is 50. That makes sense, right? Um, and then force minimum lot size is a concept of basically if there's a trade that you're taking, um, let's say you have a really small account. Say it's like $500 or 1,000, and I have $100,000 account, and you're copy trading my $100,000 account. Let's say I take a trade that's only 10 micro contracts on that $100,000 account. Well, the multiplier suggests that there's not even a lot size big enough or small enough to accommodate your $1,000 account relative to my account. So forced minimum lot size says if I take a trade, at least take a 0.01 contract. Because the problem is if I take a small trade on a big account and you have a small account, the math doesn't work out so that you can take that trade because the minimum lot size 0.01. So in reality, you need a trade that's 0.001 because that's how small your account is. So if you turn on force minimum lot size to yes, what that will do is it'll execute a 0.01 contract no matter how big my trade is. Or actually, no matter how small my trade is. That's really what would cause that. That's a scenario where that would happen is if I had a big account and I took a small trade and you would have to have a small account. That's the recipe on how that would happen. Since this is my own copy trader, I don't really care about the forced minimum lot size. It's not really an issue. But if I had a small account, or if you were copy trading my signals, you might want to turn that on to yes, or maybe leave it on no, just like it is. Okay. So anyway, let's move on from that. So this is the most important page. That's why I spent a little bit more time here, because this is where you're basically setting up your copy trader. Then you have these stops and limits. This is just saying, do you want to copy pending orders? You select yes. Copy stop loss? Yes. Copy take profit? Yes. And then you're good there. You can disable which symbols you want to trade. Maybe you don't want to trade, maybe this euro against the PLN, whatever that is. Maybe you don't want to trade the USD against the ZAR. You could turn those off, right? I leave them all on because I'm just copy trading my own account, so it doesn't really matter that much. Then you have map symbols, which I don't know what that actually does. And it says no symbol maps defined, so I'm good. And then you would just go ahead and click, save or update. And then there's another page. I can't go to it just because there's some personal information on that page, but there's another page that you could go to in the account section, and you could see that your copy trader is indeed connected, and then you're on your way. Like, it's that simple. Like, once you start taking trades in the master account, it then copies those over into the slave accounts. It's that simple. And I've set it up so that if there's a problem, it sends me emails, which you can set up in the settings. So it'll actually send you an email saying if it's disconnected, which has happened on like a few occasions. Usually it reconnects within like 5 or 10 minutes. Usually doesn't affect the account because I'm not typically taking trades when they're disconnected, and practically never disconnects. So I've had every trade I've taken, it's taken exactly. And that's the other thing too. If you ever wind up moving your stop loss to break even on your master account, it then moves your stop loss to break even on your slave accounts. If you want to put in a take profit later on, it does that. If you close half your position, like I did this morning on most of our trades, because we've had a fantastic week. If you close out half your positions, it closes out half the positions on the slave accounts. Did that for me this morning. Really, really cool stuff, guys. So that's like a personal copy trader. Any questions about a personal copy trader? So this is kind of, like I said, the standard place to go. It's pretty fun. And if any of you ever get to the point where, well, not any of you, many of you will. So when you get to the point where you want to set up a copy trader, let me know. I'd be more than happy to help you set it up. I'll give you some suggestions and show you what to click on if you ever want to do this. And this has really made my life easy on Sunday nights, because you know how we take those trades on Sunday night with the scanner. This is really awesome because now I just take it in one account and it just transmits to all the other accounts I have. It's amazing. It's just amazing, right? Okay, so this is like I said, this is an example of a personal copy trader. Let me show you some other things you guys can do. So along the lines of copy traders are not just for people like you and me who want to copy our own signals into our own accounts. Sometimes you might want to take advantage of the expertise of somebody else who's pretty good at trading and have them copy trade into your account.
Hey traders, it's Steve from the future. I hope you have enjoyed this video so far. If you are getting value out of this video, be sure to hit the like button, click the subscribe button, and share your trading thoughts. I read all the comments, so feel free to ask any questions you have there too. On a side note, I host live trading calls like this one you are watching every day. Some of my biggest trading secrets I share exclusively to just the members in my program. I host these live trading calls every day, Monday through Friday at 11 a.m. Eastern. I also host a basic training webinar every Monday for the newer traders, and the regular COT report and sentiment trading webinars every Wednesday night at 8 and 9 p.m. Eastern for the advanced and aspiring traders. All of these calls are recorded and promptly posted on the members' trading calendars at the conclusion of each call in case your schedule does not permit you to come to the live call. All of my members have complete access to the scanner. We call it Steve Scanner. This is an institutional grade trade alert scanner that picks the direction of the week on all 28 major currency pairs and includes trading instruments like gold, silver, NAS 100, US 30. Just in the last 90 days, I have made over 3,000 pips just taking the top trade signals from the scanner at the beginning of the week and then just holding those trade alerts until Friday. If you want access to the scanner, you can start a 14-day free trial with the join link in the description to get started. Lastly, if you really want to be a full-fledged VIP member of my program to get access to things like the basic training course, live signals channel, Steve Scanner, trading calendars, and the one-on-one calls with me throughout the month, you can use code Friend of Steve, that's Friend of Steve, no spaces, at checkout and save $50 on your first month. Again, just click the link in the description below and apply that coupon to become a VIP member, and I look forward to helping you with your inevitable trading success going forward. Now, back to the video.
Which is pretty cool. Now, there are risks with that, though, right? What are some of the risks? I'm going to take you to this place first. But what are the risks of copy trading from one account into another account, for somebody else's account into your account? Well, they're in control of your money, right? That is somewhat of a scary thing. Now, are they in control of your money as far as like, could they deposit or withdraw your money? No, like that's not how it works. So with other copy traders, like with Signal Start here, and I'm also going to show you MQL 4 and 5. With those websites, these are places where people like you and me go to follow other people's copy traders. Now, I have one actually with the COT report, and I've had it since June, and it's got like a 13 or 14% gain. I think with this week, we're going to be up 15 or 16% so far. So it's a good little copy trader. I think I actually rank about 200 or 300. Like the COT report copy trader ranks 200 or 300 out of all the copy traders on signalstart.com. I'm hoping to get that back in the summer last year. We were actually ranked in less than like we were in the top 100. We had a couple of losing months in the summertime, and that pulled us back. Fortunately, November, December has been better. January's been pretty good, so obviously we're off to a good start this year. So the copy trader has been slowly moving back up into its. So you can actually find me here because I actually offer copy trading services on Signal Start, which we can take a look at too if you want. But so this is, like I said, it's a pretty cool place because with signalstart.com, this is also, by the way, I believe this is a company owned by MyFXBook. So they're like this in my opinion, this is a safe company. They've the fact that they're owned or have a direct relationship to MyFXBook is a good thing because MyFXBook's kind of the premier Forex directory on the planet, right? So it's the best out there. So I like Signal Start. I do. I think they're pretty good. They don't have as many copy trader selections as does MQL, but their site here on Signal Start's a little bit easier to navigate, and there are some pretty good options. I've used copy traders. I obviously host a copy trader on Signal Start, and then I've also used copy traders on Signal Start with some pretty good results. So I'm going to show you how to use this. This is pretty dang cool, guys. You're going to love this. Let's see. How do I want to start with this? So yeah, I had something else I wanted to say. Maybe I'll come back to it if I remember it. But this is signalstart.com. I go to their Forex signals page, which is right here. Um, and when you're here, this is what it looks like. So you can search for different copy traders. Now, if you just scroll down from this search settings area, you can see these are actually the top signals, and they rank them, which is really, really cool. So you can actually click the ranking button, and you can rank them by, worst and best copy traders. Some of them don't even get a ranking. And so based off of how they look at metrics and things like that, they're indicating that, hey, this is the best copy trader right here. It's this guy from BizFX. It's at a 293% gain. They've made 739 pips, drawdown only 27%. They've taken 163 trades. This is their cost if you want to pay them monthly to copy their trades. And this is how long they've been around. And then this is when it was added to the website. So these guys are actually pretty new. So I'll tell you kind of what I do when I'm looking for people to copy signals from. I like to look for and again, just this before I mention this, just disclaimer on this, like please do your own research. You know, if it works for me, it may not work for you. And maybe for some people, copy trading is not even for you at all, even if you find a good one. So you have to kind of decide what you want to do. And like I said earlier, one of the risks of setting up a copy trader with somebody else is they're in control of what trades you take. So you could be asleep and they're taking trades for you. Now that's a good and a bad thing, right? Like obviously if they make money, you're pretty happy because you went to bed and now you're more wealthy when you woke up because they took some pretty good trades while you were asleep. I've also had it where I go to bed and I wake up and I'm not as wealthy. I've lost money overnight, right? So it goes both ways. Definitely seen it both ways. Um, and some copy traders, even though they've had good results in the past, doesn't necessarily mean they'll have good results in the future, right? So we don't know what the future is going to look like. I'll show you kind of what I do to shake out some of those. Again, it's not perfect, but I can kind of show you how to filter which ones I think are pretty good and which ones are not, because there's some things you can look for that give you red flags when you're searching out a copy trader. For example, one red flag that's pretty obvious is this is a pretty new copy trader. This one's only been around for 4 months, right? Well, that's not a long time, right? We'd like to see it a little bit older than that. So you can filter, like I said, you can filter it right here. You can filter by, if you wanted to filter, let's see, you can filter by price. See which, they've got some copy traders that are $500 a month, right? Um, which some of these don't even look that good. I don't know why they're selling them for $500. That's a lot. Um, and you can filter it by cheapest ones, which it looks like $30 is pretty much the cheapest it gets. $30 a month is kind of the standard on this platform. I think that's what most people charge is somewhere between $30 and $50 a month for copy traders. You can filter by age like this. So some of these have been around a real long time. Like this one's been around for 10 years, right? This one's been around for almost 10 years, 9 years and 10 months, 9 years here, another 9 years here. If you filter this way, you can filter by like this one's only been around for a day. This one's been around for a day. This one's been around for 2 days, 2 days, 3 days, right? So they're constantly, people are constantly post. So what's happening here is you got people like myself who come on here and host their services with hopes that people like you or others will find our services and that you'll subscribe, right? Um, right. So that's what's going on here. Anybody can do this, by the way. You can literally just open up an account. Like you could even technically offer signals on a copy trader based off of the way you're trading. If you felt like you were doing pretty well and you wanted to offer that, you could do that. Um, yeah, it's pretty cool. So you can filter by age. That's one way to do it. I like to come up to here and these specific search settings to find what I'm looking for, right? So, like for example, I don't like copy traders that have had drawdowns bigger than 20%. So you could actually put in here, say drawdown below 20%, and then that would be one of the filters. You could also say, I want um, copy traders that have been around at least 2 years, okay? Or at least a year, whatever. And maybe we'll just do a year because you want to see that they've been consistent enough and they continue to trade each month, right? A year is a good amount of time. I'd say 2 years is even better, but maybe you'll just say, I want at least a year. You can even search by brokers. So I've actually done this. This is actually how I found a couple of copy traders that I like. I'll search by, the broker and like a Wanda or forex.com. And I'll do that so that I can um, get a copy trader that is likely trading on the same broker that I'm trading on. Why is that important? Well, because here in the United States, we have FIFO laws that we have to comply with. And so I try to find people who have the same rules that I have to comply to. Because if I copy trade an account that hedges, well, that's not helpful because I'm not allowed to hedge with my accounts that are here in the United States, unless it's a prop firm challenge. Then, of course, a lot of times hedging's allowed and there's no FIFO complaints, right? You could also search and say, I want a copy trader that doesn't take more than or less than a certain amount of trades. I often do this because I usually want traders who, this is something I look for. I try to find traders who have a little bit more conviction with their trades, similar to how we use the scanner. So I don't want somebody who takes 500 trades in a month. I want somebody who takes maybe several dozens of trades in a month, but I don't want to see them taking, more than say like 30 or 40 trades, right? So you could put in here, below 40 trades. So now what this looks like is we're saying, hey, I want somebody who's takes less than 40 trades a month, has a drawdown that's less than 20%. They've been around at least a year. Okay, you could even put one more. In fact, you keep putting things in here. But let's say we want a copy trader that's made at least, we'll say a 50% return. Okay. And that's pretty good. Like that's actually not a bad way. Like this is a good search, I think. So if I click search now, um, here they are. So these are all the it says there's 26 total, and let's actually add some more rows here. And this is saying that I've got 26 results that came up from that search. So now I get to do the fun part and kind of comb through here and see. You can see I've actually highlighted a few that I like. Um, a few that I'm actually using a few of those. And then yeah, so this is kind of fun. You can kind of filter here. So beyond this, now that I've kind of filtered, like I said, there's hundreds of, I think there's thousands of copy traders out there. We've kind of limited it down to 26 in this little search we did. Now we can kind of decide which ones we want. So you could filter by price again. Of the 26 that we found, the most expensive one is $147. The least expensive one is 30. You could filter by age. This one's been around for 6 years and 4 months. And this one's been around for 1 year and 1 month, right? And so you could click into these like I don't know, let's click on this one. So this is called Wizard Style Euro Dollar. It has been around for 1 year and 4 months. You can kind of see the graph here before we click into it. Very consistent graph. Obviously, these guys are doing something right. They're ranked 218th out of all the different copy traders. That's pretty good. They've made a 70% gain in 1 year and 4 months. Hey, that's pretty good with only a 10% drawdown. I'll take that. So now you can click into it. So if you click into it, sometimes they tell you a little bit about what they're doing. Um, they're saying that they're trading the euro dollar. This is on an H1 time frame. They recommend a 1 to 100 leverage. Um, um, they tell you what they're targeting each year. They want a 50% return a year, which is kind of cool. Now, let me show you how to read this graph. So this graph's kind of cool. So on this graph, there's a bunch of things I want to show you. So when you look at a graph on Signal Start, and this is very similar to like MQL when you're looking at other copy traders, like with these guys, you can see these red dots. Those are withdrawals. Okay. So um, he's taking withdrawals every once in a while, it looks like. This area is in gray. right here. What that means is it wasn't connected to signal start until about, let's see, about May 10th of last year. But this is the history of that account. That account started back in 2022, August of 2022, and they basically traded successfully until May of 2023, and then at which point um, they decided to connect this to signal start, and that's what we can see going on. Now, this blue line is the balance line right here, maybe kind of black blue, I'm not sure. And then they have this light blue line that kind of dips right here. That's the equity line. And you got to really pay attention to that light blue line. This one's kind of interesting that it only has one divot right there. What that means is that at one point during this trade account's history, it had a drawdown. And that's how far the drawdown was before it got better. So that tells me that this guy does hold a few trades against himself a few times, like he's actually carried a loser for a little bit. And you can usually go find that down in the order history if you want to. Now let's look at this part down here. This is the advanced statistics. So this tells you how big this account is. You can see it's kind of a relatively small account. This guy's only trading with $1,000, which is a little bit disappointing because I like to see copy traders that have some real money behind it. I don't like to trade with copy traders that, are just a couple $100, a couple $1,000. Um, I like to see copy traders that have 5, 10, 100,000, $300,000 that they're trading, because that tells me that, hey, they're putting their money where their mouth is and they actually believe in their system. Versus somebody with just $1,000, I'm not totally convinced with what they're doing. But it's also not necessarily a deal breaker. The results speak for themselves. Obviously, this guy's done pretty well, even though it's a smaller account. So you can see what the equity is right now. So his equity is the same thing as his balance. That probably means he doesn't have any open trades at the moment. You can see this floating P&L. Yep, he's not up or down anything right now. He's deposited $1,000 total. He's made $515 over the course of the life. These are how many trades they've taken, which is actually pretty good. They've only taken 197 trades. So that means he doesn't take a lot of trades, which I actually kind of like I said, I kind of like it when copy traders that are very successful don't take a lot of trades. And again, why do I like that? Well, it tells me that whatever they're doing means that their edge is pretty significant. Like they're not having to take tons of trades to make things happen. They're very specific about their edge and their entry, and obviously it's working. So I like that when I'm analyzing different copy traders. Okay, so these are the pips they've made. They've won 71% of their trades. The average hold time is 1 day, so it looks like they're holding trades for about a day at a time. The average lot size is 5.9 pips. That's actually a little concerning. I'll tell you again, the reason why that's concerning is because that means that they're not making a lot of pips. They're taking these bigger contracts. Um, oh no, 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 no. I got this back. No, forget that, guys. No, 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 no. I got this backwards. Nope. Lots means this 5.9. What this means is not concerning. Sorry, sorry, sorry. Let me rewind. Lots just means that this is the amount of volume they've pushed through over 197 trades. So the average is actually, it would actually be, if you wanted to figure this out, you could pull up a calculator, unless I'm missing it somewhere on here. But you could just take 197 trades, which is right here, and divide that by the 5.9 contracts. So divided by 5.9. And oh, sorry, no, actually it's 5.9 divided by, sorry, 197 trades. There you go. So their average is about 0.03. So they're taking 3 micro contracts per trade is what they're doing. We'll probably see that in the order history in just a moment. You got profit factor. It says profit factor shows how many times the gross profit or sum of all the winning trades exceeds the gross loss, sum of all The losing trades, the higher the value, the better. Okay. I couldn't explain that very well actually on the profit factor. But there's an explanation there. They're averaging about a 0.11% gain a day, which is actually pretty dang good. For a daily return, that's every single day. They're averaging a 3.23% return a month, also very good. 12 trades per month. Again, that's not a lot of trades, but we'll take it. I think that's a good thing. Okay, and then you scroll down to here, you can see more statistics. So this is a fun one right here. This is the monthly gains of this copy trader since its inception. So these fun little colorful lines here, these all represent the gains of each month. So for example, in January, this copy trader's up almost a percent. It's 0.74. So 0.75%, it's up in January. December, it was up 1.22. November, 3.68. October, 3, so on. Here's a big month right here. November of 2022, these guys made 6.27%. And they only trade the euro dollar exclusively, as you can see here. As of January, they've taken 5 trades, and it's only been euro dollar. And I think that's the case being forever. Then you have this history, and here's kind of fun. You can see the trades that they have had. So they've been trading small contracts as expected, right? So these are all, zero point 0.01, 0.01, 0.01, 0.01, very small contracts. And you can see their open date, like this trade opened yesterday and it closed, yeah, like a day later. So they made 11 pips and they made $1. Nice little dollar. The day before this trade opened, and it was open for 13 hours and 15 minutes. Right. And let's see. Um, yeah, so it's small contract, and it makes sense why they have small contracts. I mean, these guys, you can tell that these guys don't have um a lot of money to trade with, so that's why the contracts are pretty small. But this is actually pretty fun to see. Here's some losing trades right here. So you can see what they've done with losing trades. This looks like a little bit of a bust they had going on here. You can also see they do a little bit of martingale. You can see that by, right here, they had a 0.08 contract sell on the euro dollar, and it was open for 5 hours and 47 minutes. Oh, and then no, if you look here, this is 0.04. It was open for 6 days. This one was 0.02. It was open for 6 days. This one was 0.01, and it was also open for 6 days. So you can see that the different lot sizes, that usually means they're doing some kind of martingale. Okay. Which also, by the way, if you see a line like this, that's pretty much straight up, like it's very linear, that's almost guaranteed a martingale copy trader or robot. Okay, so whenever you're looking at, different copy traders you want to analyze or hop into, if it looks linear like that, that you can almost bet your bottom dollar they're doing some kind of risk management technique to keep that smooth, like they've done so here. I've seen some that are just almost completely smooth, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but if the drawdown starts to become a big deal, like these guys have actually kept it under wraps. This is 10%. That's not bad. If I've seen some of these that have really good gains, like I've seen some that may have 300-400% gains, but their drawdown's 52%, right? That means they were very close to ruin, but they got away. Okay. Very close to ruin. These guys haven't even been close to that. So I like that so far. I'm actually surprised he hasn't increased his risk. I wonder if he's just trying to, don't break what works. Obviously he's made a 70% gain with just 10% risk. That's pretty good, right? Like you can't, I mean, who am I to complain with what this guy's doing? He's actually doing a pretty good job. Um, so this is kind of fun. I'll add this one to my watch list. Like this might be worth coming back later. So that's kind of how you analyze these. I'm just trying to think if there's anything else So you can look at the order history. You can look at any open orders if they allow you to see open trades, which he does not have right now. Like I said, he closed this trade today, this morning. This trade closed this morning, and it looks like they just basically take a trade a day. And some days they don't even take a trade. And it's just a slow and steady bot. Oh, let me show you this last thing, and we probably should start wrapping up. And there are so many other things we could talk about. Oh my gosh, this is actually a pretty fun webinar, at least for me. I don't know if you guys are enjoying this, but I get really geeky about this kind of stuff because I love it and I love what some of these platforms have done. They've made it really simple for people. So like there's this thing called simulator right here. So you can simulate what a potential gain would have been, right? This is super cool. So if you had put in like, let's say you had $5,000, okay, to trade with. Let's say you have $5,000 and you had connected to this a year ago. Um, yeah, let's just say you connect it. So let's do 1 year. So let's do 1 year. And then you click here. Let me turn this off right here. And I'll make sure the multiplier says just 1.0, just one, because that, again, that multiplier, they're all different. I showed you the one with social trader tools. This is the one with signal start. So if you put the multiplier just at one, that means when they risk 1%, you risk 1%. It's very simple, right? Now, if I click start simulation, this is what it would look like. So this is just saying in this last year, if you had started on January, 18th, it looks like, I'm not sure why it says 18th, but it was just January of last year, and you were in this till now, you would have made a 39% gain if you had started with these guys a year ago. And pretty linear move up, pretty cool. There was a little bit of a drawdown right there, as you can see. It looks like they were down about 7 or 8% during December, but they were able to swing it right back. Looks like they got away free, which is pretty cool. And then if you also click on this profit button, this tells you how much profit you would have made with $5,000. So by the end of the year, a year later, you would have made almost $2,000 from a $5,000 investment. That's if you just risk the multiplier of 1.0. Now, if you're like, you know what, this guy doesn't take a lot of risk, I'm okay with risking more. That's only $500. I'm okay with that. You can actually increase this multiplier. But again, huge disclaimer on that. Past results don't necessarily indicate future results. And so if you increase that and this guy has a real tough time and he gets into a bind, you could lose pretty quickly, right? Now, this is just a hypothetical drawdown. So if I increase that to 2 and then I turn on the simulation, now I've increased my risk up to 20%. But here's what the gain looks like now. So on the growth side of things, you would have made an 86% return at a multiplier of 2. And then your profit would have been $4,032 from a $5,000 investment. So nearly doubled your money in a year doing this with the max drawdown of hypothetically 20%. So that's kind of cool. And you can actually, lower this or increase this. Let's say you're really risk off and you're like, you know what, I'm just going to keep my risk really tight. You could do that. And this will show you this is really risk off right here. If you just do a 0.5% or half of a multiplier, um, you'd only make about $1,000 from a $5,000 investment in a year, which might not be bad. That's still an 18%. I mean, that's pretty good with very low risk settings. But you could actually, like I said, you could actually, if you push this, notice how that bar goes up on the risk side. If I keep pushing this, it's eventually going to turn. There it goes yellow. So it kind of warns you. It says, hey, if you start getting out to that point where that goes yellow, um, your drawdown could become so steep that you might not have the liquidity or the leverage to keep up with that trade. And if you keep going, it'll actually turn red here pretty soon. That's going to turn there goes red. So you're at risk of ruin if you were to continue to push that multiplier. Um, so yeah, your drawdown would have been $3,400 of 5,000 if you go that far out. So you obviously don't want to do that. But like I said, I mean, you could totally increase this to whatever you felt comfortable with. Um, and and assuming and I feel comfortable with their drawdowns so long as they've been around for a while. And this guy he's been around for, almost he's getting close on 2 years. So he's definitely been through lots of market conditions. And so I would put a little bit more confidence in this guy. This seems pretty good. I'd probably copy trade this guy. Um, it's a slow and steady, just euro dollar copy trader. That's it's pretty straightforward. Um, so you can save simulation, start simulation, which is pretty cool. You can put them on your watch list like I did over here. Oh, and then if you're ready to go, all you got to do is click copy. So you can click copy right here, and then it'll ask you to connect your account. And then it's actually, you could set this up in like 5 minutes, guys. Like I've done this now a few times, and it's actually stupid easy set up a copy trader. So it's kind of fun. If you ever want to do that, I'd be more than happy to set that up. But again, I just got to make sure, that the risks are involved if you ever want to do this. Um, I think everything's risky, but that's also the cost of making money, right? It's taking on some risk. All right, guys. Well, so next time, what I'd like to do, we didn't get to everything today, but next time, what I'd like to do is I'd like to also show you MQL, which is also where you can copy trades here. There's a lot more. This is actually where most of the copy traders is on MQL5 and MQL4. And there's a ton of copy traders. Like I think there's like 5 or 6 thousand copy traders. It's unreal. Um, and we're actually ranked with these guys too. The Cot Report copy trader is like ranked 900 out of 5,000 or something like that. So we're on the better half of things. Hopefully, after I close the trades from this week, it does even better, and we move up in those rankings. So that's kind of fun. So you can actually copy the Cot Report, which is kind of cool. But I'd like to show you guys this next time. The other thing I want you guys to do is hopefully some of your wheels are spinning and maybe you want to have us review some different copy traders. We didn't quite get to EAs today, but I'll show you how to simulate EAs and do the strategy tester on MT4 and MT5 next time. And I think that'll be pretty good. So. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up unless there's other questions, and we'll do COT report. That'll be in like 5 minutes. We'll do a little break, and if you want to come back for the COT report, that'd be super awesome. All right, guys. Well, enjoy the rest of your evening. Thank you for coming, and we'll see you guys in the next webinar.